What's going on, everybody? I'm Shabazz, and today we're going to be talking about the biggest challenges that currently exist in the commercial real estate industry and how you, as an aspiring entrepreneur, can take advantage of this. So, number one big challenge that exists in the commercial real estate industry is basically right now there is a transition happening in commercial real estate where there's a lot of older properties that basically need to get repurposed because of the internet revolution and also because of remote working. So as more and more people are able to work from home, a large portion of the workforce will take advantage of that, which means that moving forward, large organizations and real estate properties are going to actually downsize. So there are going to be a lot of real estate properties that have been designed back in the 1980s, the early 1990s for a certain level of occupancy, and maybe a lot of these properties won't be able to fill that occupancy, right? Because these companies are able to operate more efficient and more nimble. So one opportunity for entrepreneurs is find these older properties and figure out a way to repurpose them. Look at new opportunities. How can you go into those buildings and add fixings and modify each room in such a way where it can accommodate maybe a different type of tenant that it was originally intended for? Because, for instance, there's a lot of companies today, and pretty much any company today, it's more like a tech company, a technology company, where they don't need people physically in the office next to each other in order to do their job. So what are these properties going to do, right? They spent millions of dollars building these properties. They're not going to break them and tear them down, so they're going to have to repurpose them. So one business ideal can be, potentially, if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, is to say, how can I go into these buildings and add certain technologies or maybe build outs to switch up or at a cost-effective way repurpose these properties where they could be used by different type of clients than they were originally intended for. For instance, if you take a traditional business property and you're able to cheaply convert it or upgrade it in such a way where now it can accommodate maybe a medical practice, and now you can attract all medical people who still need physical locations, because typically when people get sick or they need to see a doctor, they want to actually go to the physical location. So that's a big opportunity in commercial real estate. Another way is to come up with a clever way to rezone these properties where maybe if it was a business property where people would rent basically business space to operate their office, where you can modify in such a way where you can turn that commercial property in a way where maybe somebody could actually stay there if they're traveling to another state and they just need a place to lay their head. You can convert it into maybe like accommodation. And now there's specific rules around accommodation, but if you can find clever ways around it where maybe they only stay a week at a time, and then maybe you can just build downstairs shared restrooms where each basically office building doesn't need its own restroom. That way you can take a business property that's typically struggling and convert it into accommodations. And so now that person that owns that real estate property can start marketing to all the people who want to travel. And if you think about it, there's more people than ever who's working from home, working over the internet, working remotely, who during their normal work week can go to another state, log onto their laptop and still do their job while traveling. So there's going to be a higher demand for traveling because there's more people working from home. They have more options. They're more flexible. And long as they can log into their laptop or log into the internet between, 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., they can do their job whether they're at home or whether they're on vacation in Florida. And so if you can come up with clever ways to repurpose maybe an office building into maybe a living quarters where you can actually convert that property into a residential space where people can temporarily stay, or a hostel where they can stay 1 or 2 days or a week. So these are the type of things you need to think about when it comes to commercial real estate, as far as looking for niche opportunities as an aspiring entrepreneur. I hope this helps.